to our YouTube channel. So sorry I haven't been posting very much. Been very busy. And mainly I don't really have anything to record on for myself, so I can't really record as much of my day for vlogging because my boyfriend works and I'm kind of with a Samsung right now, so yeah, and my camera quality on the Samsung is not good, so that's why I don't record on it, and I wait till my boyfriend gets home so I can actually record good quality. Oh my god. Okay, so anyways, today's video is just gonna be about a story time on how I found out I was pregnant, our parents' reactions, and then just a little update. So yeah, so let's just get right into it because I don't want to make this video way too long. And I'm sorry if I touch my hair a lot. When I touch my hair a lot and I look away, I don't know why. But yeah, so I guess let's just get right into it because I don't want to make this intro long or this video very long. So yeah, so how I found out was I was kind of late on my period. I wasn't really I didn't have no other pregnancy symptoms. I was more likely just late, but I've never been late on my period before. I've been maybe 2 days late the max, but that's when usually my period is changing its cycle, or it's changing its dates. So yeah, so it was my first day that I missed it, and I was like, okay, nothing to worry about. It'll probably just come the next day. So I waited till the next day, and then I also didn't get my period that day. And I was like, you know what, if it doesn't come tomorrow, then I have to take pregnancy tests. And I was also with my boyfriend, so I was telling him I'm usually never late, and he kept telling me, don't worry about it, your period's just gonna be late this month, maybe your period is changing. And I was like, you know what, you're right, yeah. And then yeah, so we were waiting, and then my period did not come the next day, and I was like, okay, we need to get a pregnancy test because I'm never this late. I've never been this late before. That's weird. But and I also wasn't having other pregnancy symptoms or anything. It was literally I still felt normal, but it was just my period. So I was like, okay, you know what, I honestly feel like I could be pregnant because I've never been this late, and you accidentally did put your legs up a couple weeks ago. So yeah, so basically I was like, okay, so there's a 7-Eleven right across the street, let's just go there, let's get a pregnancy test, and let's just test it out and see what happens. So we walked the same day, the third day that I didn't get my period at all. And also usually once I had a pregnancy scare, and once before I was late 2 days, and I took a pregnancy test, I got my period the next day after. So I thought that was what was gonna happen. I was like, you know what, I take this test, I'm gonna get my period the next day. So we went to 7-Eleven and we purchased a pregnancy test. It was a 2-in-1. So we came back to my house, and no one was home except for me, my boyfriend, and my little sister. But my little sister, she's on her computer all the time, she doesn't really care. And then yeah, so after that we went into the bathroom. I had peed in a cup, and because mine was the small one, and then there's just you just put a droplet of pee, 3 droplets of pee. Okay, this sounds so disgusting describing it, but it's just one of those small ones. Maybe it was like this. It wasn't big. So yeah, and then I was like, okay, so after I only did one though. I only did one test because I just wanted to see what this would come out as. So as soon as I dropped it, we were waiting for the lines, and then one line showed up, which is the line that always shows up, and then another line, it was so faint, but 3 minutes later we looked at it and there was a line, but it was so faint. I think I'll post a picture right here. Yeah, so it was very faint. You could see it, but you could hardly see it from far away or anything. So at first I cried because I was like, oh my god, I'm pregnant. So I was shocked. I was crying, and I was like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? And then my boyfriend's like, I don't believe it, it's not true. And I was like, one came out positive. So I guess I should have took the other one that day. But I called one of my youth workers. I'm not gonna disclose her name as just personal reasons, but one of my youth workers, she's like one of my bestest friends. She's older. She's also pregnant, and that's surprising. But anyways, so I'd called her and I told her about my test. And then she told me, okay, well, take the next one tomorrow. And if it comes out even darker, go to the doctor's and, you know, get tested there. So I was like, okay. So my boyfriend still didn't believe. He was like, I'm not gonna believe it until the other one comes out positive. So I was like, okay. So I was low-key excited for the next day because I wanted to see what the test had said. So we had went to his house to sleep over because he was sleeping at my house and I was gonna go sleep at his house the next day. So we went to go sleep at his house, and then it was the next day. Still didn't get my period. I thought I was gonna get my period after I took my first test the day before, or the day, you know, like back, but I didn't. So then I took I took that morning test. I woke my boyfriend up. I said, okay, it's time to go take the test. So we went to the bathroom. I think it was like 8 in the morning and it was my first pee. So I put my little droplets, waited, and not even 4 to 3 minutes later, the line came out darker. So I was so shocked. I was like, I'm pregnant. Like, I'm pregnant. And my boyfriend's like, we're gonna go to the doctors. We're not pregnant. I don't believe you. He still didn't believe me. And I was like, 2 tests came out positive. I'm pretty sure I'm pregnant. So anyways, we had called the doctors and I asked, and we just went to a walk-in clinic. So we had went, sat there, waited, and then that's when they made me do a pee test at the doctor's. Because yeah, we went there. So I took the test at the clinic and then we sat in the room, and then the doctor came in and was like, so the test came out. And I was like, yeah. And then they're like, it's negative. I was like, okay. So I'm not gonna lie, like, when you first find out you're pregnant from like two tests that came out positive, you're excited, but like you're so filled with emotions, like you don't know how to react. And for me, I've always wanted to be a mother. Like, since I was young, I've always wanted to be a mom, but obviously not this early. Like, I planned on having a baby when I was like in my mid-20s, but so when I was like, okay, but they were like, but we're gonna send you for a blood test because a blood test will give a more 100% accurate of your, you know, my GHC, I think that's what it's called. I don't remember right now because my brain, pregnancy brain. So yeah, so we had gotten a paper to go get my blood drawn. So I was like, okay, let's just go. And while we left the clinic, I low-key cried. I was like crying, and my boyfriend was like, why are you crying? And I was like, low-key because I thought I was, and you know, like I've always been wanting to be a mother, so it's just sad to find out that I'm not, because I thought I wasn't, right? And then we went to the place, got my blood drawn, and then they told me to wait 2 to 3 days for the results to come in. 1 day went by, I didn't get no call. They also said if they didn't call me, that means I'm not pregnant. If they called me, I was. The 2nd day came by, I didn't get no call. So I was like, okay, I'm honestly probably not pregnant, you know? And I also think they sent me for the blood test was because I also brought the 2 tests, and I was like, okay, I don't get it. My 2 tests came out positive and yours came out negative. Like, there's, you know, you gotta test again. So I guess that's why they also sent me for the blood test. And then I'd call my doctors. I was like, I just wanted to know what my results were from when I got my blood drawn. Like, I just wanted to know if it was negative too. Like, just to get, like, oh, excuse me. Just to get, like, some weight off my chest. So, I called them and they told me they weren't allowed to put that information over the phone and that I had to go in to get the results. So I was like, okay, I'll just come in. So the next day, we went back to the clinic, me and my boyfriend, not thinking that I was actually going to be pregnant. I was kind of like hoping, like, but at the same time I was kind of like, I just figured out what I wanted to become. Like, I want to become a paramedic, and like I have a whole bunch of schooling. So like at the same time I was kind of like, let's hope I'm not. But at the same time, you know, every baby's a blessing, you know, every baby's a miracle. So, you know, if I was, then I was, and you know. So when we got there, we sat there in the waiting room for a bit, and then they came in, and then we had to go into the room. We went into the room, sat there, and then that's when the doctor came in, sat down on his computer, and I was sitting there like so scared on what he was gonna say. And then the first thing he said was, he looked at my boyfriend, was like, okay, so I was sitting, like, he was sitting here and I was sitting here, and he looked at my boyfriend, then he looked at me and he was like, is it okay if I share the whole information and everybody in this room? And I was like, yeah. And I was scared, right? Because he didn't say that the last time. Last time he just said it was negative. But this time he was like, is it okay if I share the information with everyone in this room? And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, okay, with a smile. But like, he was wearing a mask, but I could tell he was smiling. He's like, it came out positive. And I wasn't shocked. I was like sitting there and I was like, what now? What? And like, I almost cried. I was smiling and like crying because I was so scared. But like, I was so filled with emotions, like emotions I didn't even know I had. It was so bizarre. I was like shocked. I was like, I didn't even know how to react. I was like, really? Like, I am? And he's like, yeah, you are pregnant. You gotta go for an ultrasound and a whole bunch of other stuff. And he gave me a whole bunch of papers for my prenatal pills, iron pills, because I'm anemic, which means my iron is very low, and that's bad. So I have to take iron pills. So I was cracked my thumb. So yeah. So he passed me all these papers, and then I called right when we left the clinic. Like, I told my boyfriend, I was like, oh my god, we're pregnant. And he was like, he didn't say anything, like, at all. He was like, and I was like, are you okay? But he was shocked. He almost started tearing up too. He was tearing up. And then he just told me he was really shocked and he didn't know how to react, which, like, everyone has their own reaction to finding out they're pregnant. He was just really unshocked, and yeah. So he didn't know how to feel about it for actually quite a bit. He didn't know how to feel about it, but, which I understand, like, you know, everyone's different. But my mom, I'd called my mom and I told her right away because, okay, so now this is just gonna be how our parents found out. So for me, the day I took the first pregnancy test, I told my mom I have a chance I could be pregnant, because me and my mom are kind of close, so I'm able to like tell her things, you know, because she's not that strict, so I'm able to tell her things. Okay, so sorry, my boyfriend came down to give me the phone because my mom called. As I was just talking about my mom, about calling. So anyways, back to what I was talking about. My blood test done. I was like, yeah, I got my blood test done because I think I might be pregnant. And then honestly, my parents didn't really react much. They were more just like making sure I was okay and supporting me. But at the same time, they were like upset a little bit at me, because like, who wants their 17-year-old daughter to be pregnant so early? But, you know, it was okay after that. They just talked to me and told me like the things I have to get done, the things I have to do, and like advice and stuff like that. So after that, I called them while me and my boyfriend were heading back to my boyfriend's house to tell his parents, because I already told my mom over the phone. But when I told my mom, I was like, yeah, I'm pregnant. And then she was like, okay. And then I honestly forgot really what she said, but I know that she wasn't mad. She was more just like, okay, well, something, blah, blah, blah. I don't remember, because I don't remember. But yeah. And then she told me to call my grandma, which is, for me, Kukum, which means grandma in Cree. But, so I called my Kukum, and I was like, I'm pregnant. And my Kukum, she's like, I used to live with her for like half my young life, so I'm like her other daughter. So it was like, she was like, I told you, because once I told my mom I got my blood test to also see if I was pregnant, she told my grandma, and my auntie overheard that too. So yeah, I told my grandma that I was pregnant, and then I told her, don't tell anybody. I don't want to tell the family at all yet. Like, I just want to keep it between like just us, just us. So after that, I hung up with my grandma. We headed to my boyfriend's house. And when we got to my boyfriend's house, the first person we told in his family was his sister, his oldest sister. And she was like, you're lying. You're not pregnant. And I was like, I am. And then she was like, no way. Like, she was really surprised and shocked. And then I gave her the papers that I got, and because it said, like, for pregnant woman, prenatal, stuff like that. So, and she was like, you're not pregnant. And then I showed her the papers, and then she looked at me, and she was like, oh my god, really? And I said, yeah. And then she looked at her brother, because that's her younger brother. So, yeah, so then we told his sister, and his sister, that's just how his sister reacted. And then she was like, how are you gonna tell, mom and dad? Because his parents are kind of strict, because just like their background, they're just like, they're strict. Not that strict, but like, you're not supposed to get pregnant as a teen in their background. So, and my boyfriend's 18, so, and I'm 17, so, but we decided to tell his parents after supper, because it was like we were gonna all eat at a table, and he didn't want to ruin that. I was like, rip the band-aid off, right? It was already like 7 o'clock p.m. and I was like, you need to tell him, because I gotta head home too myself. And then, so supper came around. His sister sat across from me and kept giving me the look like, and I was like, like, shush. But he kept looking at his brother too, and was like, and she kept giving us like that look where she was like, and I was like, okay. And then I kept texting my boyfriend too, right? I was like, can you just tell him already? Like, you're taking forever. And then multiple hours went by, and it was already 8:30 p.m. by time we were done eating. And my mom was getting mad because it was already dark, and my mom wanted me home, because I haven't been home since like I first found out. My mom wanted me home, so she was like, if your boyfriend doesn't tell him soon, then I'm coming to pick you up. Aaron, my mom talked to him. I was like, if you don't tell your parents, I'm gonna go over there and tell them myself. And then she was like, I'm coming to pick Taylor up at 9. If you're not done by time, then she's gonna leave, and So then 9 o'clock already came by, and my mom was on her way. And then I was like, you gotta tell your parents. He was sitting on the couch right beside his mom, and I was sitting on like across from them, and I was like texting him. And then he's like, don't force me, stop forcing me. And like, I didn't want to like force him, right? But I wasn't trying to like force him. I was just like trying to give him courage, like just rip it off like a band-aid. More quicker you get it done, more faster it's done. So I didn't understand what he said, because he speaks in his language, Bisaya, which is a language in the Philippines. So I didn't really understand what he said, and his stepdad didn't understand, because his stepdad's also white and his mom is Filipino. So yeah, so he was like, what's wrong? Because his mom was like talking. But anyways, so he told his parents, and his parents were just like, talking. And then his dad still didn't know what was going on, and he looked at me, because he kind of understood what they were talking about, and looked at me, he was like, are you pregnant? And I was like, and then after that, he kind of looked disappointed, to be honest. Both his parents did. And then his mom was just going off, kept saying things, like she was just talking to him. I was so scared of them. I was like 7, I was like, and then his mom cried. Oh my god, my cat. Dalisai, shush. Anyways, but yeah, his mom was crying. His dad was, I don't even know, his dad didn't really much have a reaction, except he just looked very disappointed. And then he kept telling me, oh, it's kids having kids. How are you guys gonna do it? Sorry, my cat. But anyways, after that happened, my mom came and picked me up, so I had went home. And after I went home, I sat with my parents and we talked about it, and we're like, so now what's the plan? Like, what's happening now? So the next plan was, how are me and my boyfriend gonna do it? Like, able to support our child. So my boyfriend already actually has a job. He works at McDonald's full-time now, because he was only working part-time before we found out I was pregnant. Then right when we found out I was pregnant, he went straight to full-time right away, which is, bless him. Because of COVID, I can't really get a job, and because I'm also pregnant now, I can't get a job because it's so much harder. So yeah, we live with my parents. So the next thing was, my boyfriend was gonna move in with us because my parents don't get along with his parents. So my mom was like, okay, he's gonna move in here. So I talked to my boyfriend about it. My boyfriend's like, okay, yeah. So my boyfriend moved in with me about 2 months ago, almost 3 months ago now. And yeah, so he moved in with me. He works full time. And yeah, and next month in January, at the end of January, we're gonna be getting our own little basement suite, which I'm excited for because it's gonna have 2 bedrooms, one for me and my boyfriend and one for the nursery. So yeah, I'm very excited. So now it's just gonna be about the update. So yeah, that was basically my whole story about how I found out I was pregnant, how our parents reacted. But yeah, so now it's just gonna be a little update on how I am and how baby is. So I am 12 weeks, 2 days today. I had an ultrasound. I was gonna vlog it, but I woke up late and was rushing and forgot to vlog. So I went for an ultrasound. I got to see my baby. My baby is so much more bigger. I'll place a picture right here. So yeah, that's my baby. It was a great experience. I love seeing my baby every time. That was my second time seeing my baby since I first saw my baby, because my baby looked like this, a little sprouting flower, and now it looks like a real little baby. If you stayed this long, thank you for watching. I'll be updating more videos soon. I'll be trying. You guys should comment down what I should post though, because like I'm really bad at video ideas. I mean, I can do I'll think about what to do next, but I should post soon. Maybe next week I'll post again, or this week. Probably this week again. Oh my god, stop yawning. If you guys want to follow our journey, please subscribe. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all another day. Bye.